Hello everyone, it's Mike and welcome back to another video. Today we will be looking at two tweets that is referring to the new game. One is by a player called Mo, and he's talking about the physics of the upcoming Battlefield, especially since 2042's physics were not very good, especially in the flying vehicles. And he targets this tweet towards David Surland, who is a lead developer with DICE, and he's been responding to a lot of tweets about the future games and what people like and don't like. And he is saying that they are aware of things that were not appreciated in the previous titles, and they're cherry picking a lot of mechanics, I guess, and details from other games to bring into the new game. I think that's a excellent idea, and I hope that they really do follow through. And I really want to just focus this video on kind of educating people on what they might be talking about with the flying mechanics. So without further ado, let's jump into it. In 2042, Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, the flying mechanics for the planes and helicopters, obviously there's no helicopters in 5 or 1 since it was World War 1 and World War 2, but the flying mechanics are just very simple. And for 1 and 5, I understand they are just planes, and it was World War 1 and 2. So there's not really much they could do. I guess they could have, but I guess for the way the game played and everything like that, they decided not to. But with 2042, they just copy and pasted the same mechanics. And it's very unfortunate because when, at least from what I've seen and what I've heard and who I've talked to, when 42's trailer came out with the Rendezvous and everything like that, people were really excited because they saw the modern jets and they thought, wow, dogfighting is going to make a comeback. And it ended up being the same boring old mechanics that to win a fight, you just basically afterburner and just run around in the same horizontal loop, and it's just boring. And back in 4 and 3, there was a lot of learning to be done with dogfighting and jets and helicopters. One of those things was speed control, and that is the most basic of basics of dogfighting in jets. It's you have to control your speed to stay between 300 and 315. Obviously, the better you are, the kind of smaller that gap gets, but the general basics is 300 to 315. And then once you master that, then you move on to other things like cutting and switching and scissoring, and it just goes on and on and on. And then you tailor your dogfighting to yourself, and everyone kind of has their own unique way of doing things. I've seen many upon many of people do way different things, and they are just really good dogfighters. And the dogfight community in general is just a great community. It's still alive today, actually, on Xbox. And it used to be really big back in the day. Now, we have seen content in the past by, for example, Silk and Ghost Gaming about like how to dogfight. They have like playlists on YouTube on how to do things and try and teach people. Now, if you go to 2042, that all disappears, right? It's mostly just like settings, like turn your FOV up and stuff like that, which is really sad because it kind of takes the fun learning aspect out of the game, which most games don't have. Like Call of Duty, you won't find a learning aspect. It's just learning to shoot your gun, right? And it's not something that is needed in the game for you to succeed. I've seen plenty of people just get in jets and just have fun, just not knowing anything and just flying around, right? So, but it's nice to have that skill gap, I think, just so if you want to learn and dedicate your time to do things, you can. And it's the same thing with the helicopters. I think I'm not sure what they did with like the physics in 2042, but it just doesn't feel right. Like I get into a helicopter in Battlefield 4 in 2042, it's so hard to describe, but it just feels so off. And I think a lot of it has to do with the designs of the helicopters and like how they are used in those games. I think they're way less fun. But once again, there's no learning curve really for the helicopter besides staying up in the air, right? And in 4, you'd have to learn how to hit tow missiles, and tow missiles used to actually one hit other helicopters, and it used to be insane, which was way more fun because the tow missiles are obviously very hard to use. And then your gunner would have to learn how to hit TV missiles, which I don't believe the helicopters in 2042 have anymore. But a YouTuber named AKA Art, who since 2042 has come out, he has quit making content, which is unfortunate. He used to come out with a lot of great content, not with just helicopters, but he used to post fan top 100 clips of the month and stuff like that. So a big loss. I hope he comes back with a future game. He used to post how to, like, a complete guide to how to use the helicopters in Battlefield 4. And it's just night and day about how much content can be pumped out of the game with the vehicles, with when they actually make them where there's a little bit of a skill gap, right? And I know what some of you are thinking, oh, there's vehicles and the infantry is going to have no chance. Like, it's good that they're not overpowered or can be overpowered. And to that, I say, it's a skill issue. No, but there's been plenty of games I've been in where you're dominating in a vehicle and then the entire enemy team makes it their only priority to kill you. You see it on Siege of Shanghai all the time. People get fed up with the attack helicopter. Everyone puts on stingers. UCAVs, the heat seekers, they start soft lamming you. It gets nightmarish on certain maps with some of the vehicles, and if you are not cautious, you're gonna get killed every single time because they end up hating you. But once again, more experienced pilots or people that put more of the time in can actually work around those scenarios where the entire lobby is trying to kill you, right? Not that you won't die, but you can definitely survive longer. It's gonna be more of a challenge for you. And I think that's what Battlefield 2042 is missing. I think it's missing that real challenge aspect for the vehicles, especially the air vehicles. Tanks have really more or less been the same in my opinion, but definitely air vehicles, I would like to see them bring back the dogfighting, the learning curve, and everything like that. So hopefully they do. But I think this is kind of confirming that. I think David was kind of hinting at they're going to bring back some of the older mechanics and everything like that, which I really, really, really hope they do, because as someone who likes the dogfight, and I still do it to this day, I just love it. And there's just no point for me to play a Battlefield game where there's just no learning mechanics besides infantry gameplay, right? Because then it's just basically Call of Duty with more players. So hopefully we get more information along the stretch here about this, and I just really hope they don't mess this Battlefield up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I do have another big video coming out later this week, so stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys later. Hey guys, just real quick before this video ends, I just wanted to mention that I will be producing some other content on this channel besides just Battlefield. I think I'm going to start posting some Valorant videos and maybe some Phasmophobia videos and clips and such like that. So if you have any games you'd like to see me play or review or do anything, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try and see if I can do it. Thank you, and have a great day, guys.